Hello, everybody, and greetings from the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, along with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, and this is the Goatee Sports Page. In-state rival Vanderbilt comes calling, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set the lineup card, sponsored by Blunt Partnership. The University of Tennessee Sports Report, sponsored by the Cherokee Group and the Murphy's Bobcat SEC Notebook, lead off with Marcus Fitzsimmons and Donnie Moore. Tennessee Volunteer basketball legend Tony White and former Alcoa Tornado roundballer Dwayne Easter will visit with us. Troy Provo-Heron will join the Goatee Sports Page crew. Donnie Moore will update us on high school scores and news from around the area. And then Mark It Down with Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Mandy B. Street Realty, features Tennessee Vol basketball. The Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week will be announced, featuring Marcus Fitzsimmons and Troy Provo-Heron, as William Blunt Lady Gov basketball will be on the docket. Donnie Moore returns to discuss headlines from around the sports world before the Boyd Sports Spotlight shines on today's SEC basketball schedule and the Southeastern Conference standings. And finally, the Bold Prediction segment will close out today's show as the panel will make their weekly picks. And now it's time for the Cherokee Group UT Sports Report and the Murphy's Bobcat SEC Notebook, featuring Marcus Fitzsimmons and Donnie Moore. Troy Provo-Heron is on board with us. Vol basketball legend Tony White is here with us, along with former Alcoa round bowler Dwayne Easter. Good morning to everybody, and welcome back to another week of the Goatee Sports Page. Donnie Moore, we got special guests in the house tonight.
We do indeed, and we're glad to have Tony and Dwayne with us. And Tony Aruli will be back with us later on in the show today.
Okay, all
right.
As
well.
Well, I've got a little bit of let her rip before we get into talking about the business at hand this morning.
Let's rip it.
All right. I hate to rip a Hall of Fame basketball coach, but a little criticism here and there might be good for Rick Barnes. Last Saturday against Texas A&M, as his team was getting pounded offensively by the Aggies, Coach Barnes called timeout and proceeded to unleash his wrath on Dalton Knecht because he was struggling defensively. It's not the first time Knecht has had his ears cleaned by Barnes, whose world revolves around stopping somebody. As a former shooter, it has always puzzled me why great shooters are always being criticized for their inadequacies on the defensive end, while outstanding defensive players are rarely chewed out for their lack of offensive consistency. Case in point, at Texas A&M, Josiah Jordan James, 4 points, 28.9%, 2 for 7. Santiago Vescovi, 5 points, 1 for 6, 16.7%. Jordan Gainey, 4 points, 1 for 5, 20%. And Zakai Ziegler, 15 points. You say, 15 points, 5 for 15, 33.3%. I didn't see any of these guys taking a good butt chewing for putting up numbers an elementary player could put up. Coach Dalton Knecht is the only consistent offensive player you got. Cut him some slack. It takes hours and hours of practice to be a great shooter and involves years. What skill does it take to be a great defensive player? Not much. Maybe some guts. Oh, and by the way, Dalton Knecht got 22 points in the 28 minutes you gave him. If he had played the other 12, he would have put up 30. Enough said on that deal.
Enough said. Tony, there go those tickets.
Tony, I grew up in Indiana, Tony. I grew up in Indiana, and I grew up with a lot of great shooters. One of them was Rick Mount, one of the greatest shooters to ever play the game, in my opinion. He played at Purdue University, averaged about 35 points his senior year, and all they wanted to talk about was how Rick couldn't play defense. And it followed him all the way into the professional ranks. But I've never understood that. I played with great defensive players at Tennessee.
Yeah,
they never said, and they couldn't shoot a lick. They couldn't shoot a lick in practice. But they had this great respect because they could stop somebody. I just never understood that. And the guys that's out there that's given the hours and hours in practice, it takes a lot of time, Tony, doesn't it, to be able to shoot the basketball. You're a great one. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That takes.
Yeah.
Take courage.
It does at that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to have Tony White in here this morning, and what a career he had at the University of Tennessee. And we're going to talk to him and Dwayne Easter, who's a former Alcoa basketballer and played for the great Vernon Osborne, right?
That's
over
right.
at Alcoa High
Correct.
School. And I'm going to talk to Dwayne first, and let's talk about Dwayne. What you're on a mission.
I'm kind of on a mission.
You are on a mission, buddy, and you've got a good product to pitch. So
exactly.
Talk about a little bit what you got going and kind of where you're at on it.
Yeah. I was going to tell everybody that I met Tony at work. We worked at Y12, and I knew he was a good ball player, but I'd never really looked at his stats, until after we got to working together. And then I looked at him and go, wow. And then I got to looking at whose jerseys were retired, and I couldn't understand why his is not retired after all of his records. So anyway, if you would allow me, I'd like to go over a few of the high points of some of the stuff he's accomplished. If that's okay.
Fine.
Embarrass him.
Okay. Well, Tony was 1987 co-SEC Player of the Year. He was third-team All-American, and he currently holds the UT all-time single-game scoring record of 51 points, and that record stands after 36 years. And while he was at Tennessee, he was the first Tennessee guard to capture SEC scoring crown, and remains one of just 6 players in program history to score more than 2,000 points. He and Hall of Famer Bernard King are the only 2 Tennessee players in history to twice lead the SEC in scoring. He averaged 22.2 points as a junior and 24.5 points as a senior. And I'd like to just say, when you're mentioned in the same sentence with UT and SEC greats as Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King, that's impressive in anyone's book. And incidentally, both of these players have their jerseys hanging in the rafters of Food City today. So I'm just going to kind of go over a few of his other things. Like I said, he's third-team All-American SEC player. He was first-team All-SEC in '87, SEC tournament, all-tournament team '87. He was first-team All-American on the Playboy magazine team, which they don't have any longer, but there's a lot of good players came on that. He was the Classic MVP over in Hawaii, Citrus Bowl Classic MVP, Sugar Bowl Classic all-tournament team, 1985 Volunteer Classic MVP, 1984 SEC all-freshman team, 1984 Volunteer Classic all-tournament team. He's a SEC legend, 2002 UT Basketball All-Century Team, 2009, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame inductee, 2022. But then when he finished his career as SEC's number 5 all-time leading scorer with 2,219 points, second only to Ernie Grunfeld, who had 2,249 in Tennessee program history. Of course, Allen Houston is now number 1, so he's third still. But and also he posted a career best scoring of 24.5 points per game his senior year, joining Bernard King as the only players in program history to win 2 SEC scoring titles. And like I said, he set the Tennessee single-game scoring record with 51 points during a performance win against Auburn. It's 103-84 that the Vols won that game. He had another game. He erupted for 49 points in the Citrus Bowl Classic in Orlando in 1987. And then his best career scoring performance against rival Kentucky was 32 points. He's also, he's number 4 in points scored in a season with 711 points. And then the people that are above him, all those people have got their jerseys retired, but he's still named in those circles of people. He's number 5 and number 11 as far as scoring average for a season. And like I say, a lot of these people that are mentioned up with him have got their jerseys retired. He's number 3, most career 30-point games with 16. And Bernard King and Allen Houston are the ones ahead of him, and both of those jerseys have been retired. He's number 2 with most career 40-point games. He's got 2. Bernard King had 5. Of course, Bernard's got his jersey retired. So to me, it just goes on and on. He's number 3 in free throws made in a game. He had 18. He's number 3 with free throw percentage in a season at .902, 90%, which is very good. He was a 1993 gold medal winner with the men's representing United States in the AmeriCup, International Basketball Federation in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He's Spanish League top scorer, Greek League MVP, French League All-Star MVP. He was drafted by the Chicago Bulls same time that Michael Jordan was there. Then I believe he went to Golden State. Then was it the Knicks?
The Knicks, Golden State.
And then he went overseas. But I mean, it goes on and on. And what's amazing to me after 36 years, that his name is still at the top of a lot of these records. He's right up there at the top, and I just don't understand how do you go about getting his jersey retired?
Well, first of all, Tony, you got my vote.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a pretty good
I'll be
career.
glad.
Well, thanks.
I'll be glad. I'll be glad to help you out in any way. But the first thing I would tell the committee, if they had me come in and talk to them, is I would say, well, first of all, you're fully qualified. In fact, you're probably overqualified. And I think that would probably, after what we've just heard, would definitely turn the tide. But this is a great honor, and I hope that, and I really feel confident that it's all going to work out and go through for you. But what would it mean to you if it did?
I mean, that would be one of the greatest honors, you know. It would be second because, I had a battle with cancer, and I'm a cancer survivor. So that was first. But to be honored here at the University of Tennessee, it would be wonderful. I love the university, and I came here, and I worked at everything. So,
We talked a little bit about it before we went on the air, but why do you think it's taken so long with the credentials that you've got to arrive at this point? Your resume is impeccable. You've represented the university to a high quality in every way. You graduated over there. You've just been the epitome of what it's all about, what college basketball and sports is there. That's what every administrator, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're every administrator and coach's dream, so to speak, and why it's baffling to me why there hasn't been a banner hung up there to this point.
I don't know. I really can't answer that question. It's just I just think that the new regime that's over there right now is. I ended a transition from Stokely. Stokely was my last year, and so I just think from that transition, I just think I got misplaced. I got lost. I got lost in the history. I mean, not just saying because I'm not saying the history. I'm just saying I just got lost as in, I guess, what I did for my career. Because the new regime came in with let's just hit it, the Bruce Pearl era came in.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about because your regime replaced my regime.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, it's
I
different
feel your
people.
pain.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about or anything because that was one of my goals to come here to the University of Tennessee as in try to get my jersey retired. Because I was an underachiever.
Exactly.
I mean, an overachiever, but under-recruited because, hey, Don DeVoe never did see me play.
Tony, I've spent my life in education, and it sounds like you're one of the ones that we in the education business refer to as kids that fell through the cracks.
That's what they always say. Yeah. I fell through the cracks, and
that's sad too, because people like that, they find themselves in a situation to where they don't get the things that they deserve in life,
well,
and it is sad.
Well, it's sad. It's sad, but you know, I had meeting Dwayne, and I didn't know Dwayne was gonna go through all these details. He blew up.
I know.
mean, Dwayne, he's
You got a good friend right there.
well, I mean, I was shocked because he was like, "Hey, this ain't right."
I never had an agent as good as this guy. Hell, if I'd had an agent as good as him, I wouldn't be sitting here this morning. I'd be living in a nice big house somewhere.
I understand.
Or a
I
mansion
understand. Well, I
somewhere.
mean, we got close over this last year and everything, and you know, he just every time he called me or talked to me, he just shake his head. He said it ain't right. And I'm like, Dwayne, it's okay.
He's not just a friend; he's an advocate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's an advocate, but plus he's a big basketball fan.
He is.
He loves basketball,
He does.
and so I guess his love for basketball is saying this is not right. So I'm shocked to actually be here today because he told me, he said, "Hey, do you want to come on the radio and talk?" I said, "About what, Dwayne?" He said, "Hey, we're gonna push this. Just try to get something going because every time he try to, it's so funny. Every time he try to call someone to figure out what's the requirements, how you do it." He don't get the right person.
And you don't get a reply.
We don't
it was
get a
sort of
reply.
like when I was in high school and I was trying to get a date. I'd make the call, never got a reply.
Exactly.
well,
It's disheartening.
well, so
And I'm still
Yeah, but you got lucky though.
Yeah. Well, one call got through. Yeah.
well, you know, he just, he would call me and I said, "Well, Dwayne, I don't know."
I'm still waiting on
Yeah,
some of these
yeah,
people.
yeah, so
'cause
I
that's
said-
one of the things. There is a committee over there, and I found out, I think, who two of the people are. Danny White is one of them, the athletic director. The other one, I think, is Angie Keck, I believe. There's like three there that it's kind of vague who those people are. So I've called and tried to find out who those people are so they can start getting a committee and looking at Tony.
Yeah,
but I can't get any
Well,
satisfaction. So that's what I was wanting to talk about, Tony. What I'm going by is he was third team All-American. Supposedly there's three criteria out of those five. He's been co-SEC Player of the Year. He holds a major record, 51 points, and he's third team All-American. They're wanting first team All-American. But could you look at his body of work, all he's done? There's no way.
well, let's just look at the criteria because I'm sure our listeners don't know the criteria.
Yeah.
So let's first of all, the criteria back when it was first formed, back in 2007, I guess. The criteria was 1, first team All-American as recognized by the UT Media Guide. 2, SEC Player of the Year as recognized by the UT Media Guide. 3, member of an Olympic team. And 4, member of an NBA or an ABA All-Star team. Now, I don't know what being a member of the Olympic team or a member of an NBA or an ABA All-Star team has anything to do whatsoever with the career you had at the university. But obviously there was some points made about that because in 2013 they changed it. They changed it. And they put, I don't know what these 2 dots mean, but they got 2 dots. They're in this deal with the NCAA about rules being vague. This is pretty vague, what I'm reading here this morning. But they got 2 dots under the new criteria, and the 2 dots say, the student-athlete must have demonstrated outstanding character, integrity, and commitment to the University of Tennessee during his or her athletic career. Well, at least one banner's coming down. I don't mean to be harsh on anybody, but at least one banner that's already up on this criteria is coming down. Second, it says any student athlete under consideration must have graduated or have left the university in good academic standing, which would have made them eligible to return and compete. That means, your grades or whatever needed to be at a certain level, but you didn't have to graduate. Now, I would have changed that. I'd say, well, in order to have made this banner at student-athlete, a requirement should have been that you graduated from the University of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And if you had not graduated, then you could come back and get your graduation and then be in line to get your banner up there. But these are dots. I don't know. They're not criteria. They're dots because they want to leave themselves open to where they don't have to go back to this if they don't have to, according to who they're looking at. But they're not one of the ones that they need to look. But anyway, the student athletes, I always like that term, student athletes. But I think graduation's important if a banner's up there. Of course, Tony qualifies for that. Student athletes will be eligible for consideration if they achieve 3 of the 5 criteria listed below. SEC Player of the Year. Okay.
Got that.
There's no problem there. National Award. Now, this is kind of vague. They say Player of the Year. I don't know what the Sullivan Award or similar honor. I don't know what that's kind of vague. I guess it's way open to whatever.
It's a national player of the award.
Whatever. It's got first-team All-American. Well, that's fine. But during my generation, there were all kinds of All-American teams. There was AP, UPI, Converse, Helms, so forth and so on.
Playboy.
Playboy All-American.
Playboy All-American. I mean,
He
you know
was
what I'm
on
saying?
there.
But it just says first-team All-American.
That's right.
Well, I don't. If I was redoing this, I would probably put. You could be an All-American, but it would not necessarily have to be on the first team. You could be an
Exactly.
AP or UPI because there's only 5 picked, and they usually go to 3 teams. So you got what, 15 players
15
out of
players.
5,000.
15 players out of the whole nation.
5,000 something.
Yeah.
So I would change that. I don't think first would be
Exactly.
my choice. I
think
would say All-American. And
As a former AP All-American voter, I think right now it's 16 players per team.
Yeah.
But even then, you're talking about the top 18 players in the country.
yeah.
Why is it only limited to the top 5
Yeah.
or 6
And
as a
you're-
first team? I think it's
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous.
And
Yes.
anyway, you're still qualified even under that for the most part.
There are a lot of basketball players in this country.
And there's also
Yeah.
honorable mention All-American team, which is, that's a pretty big honor.
And he's
That's
been
a
on those.
That's a pretty big honor to have right there in itself because they don't pick a lot of those guys. What about an academic All-American? You say, well, this is about playing. We're not talking about – well, you're talking about a student athlete up here. What if they make the academic – All-American team because you don't only have to be a great player, you have to be a great student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why isn't that considered under the All-American part of it? Then it says career record holder in a significant category as determined by the committee. That's kind of vague. I mean, what are you talking about there? You're talking about a guy maybe 1 year he shoots 50% from the floor. Is that a category? You say, well, he shot 50%. Nobody else shot 50% at that position. Should he be I don't know. I don't know. And then it says national championship during tenure. Are you kidding me?
This one, this
I mean,
one-
the basketball program hadn't even gotten
To
to
the
the Final
Final
Four. And the baseball, I mean, listen to me. Listen, this is it's almost like, well, we got 4 right there, and we got to eliminate some people because we don't want to. So we just put national championship on there, and that'll sure say, well, if they want to eliminate, they can put national championship on there, and you got to graduate, and we're talking about a lot less people, Tony.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot, I don't know.
True.
But I think there's some adjustments there. It's a little bit vague, but that's just my opinion. I think that statistics should weigh heavy, and I think the graduation should be important.
Right.
I think it should be important, and I think that I wrote some things down here. I got them somewhere on this, but I'll find them here in a second.
Well,
but
Mike, I got a question here. You mentioned All-America teams. And, Tony, you were on the Playboy All-America team. Does that mean you did a Playboy photo shoot? Is that –
No.
that's got to be a YouTube record within itself.
No. What happened during that time was that, of course, that was the last year that they had the Playboy All-American team. I mean, you had Mark Jackson on there, you had Danny Manning, and let me see. Oh man, it was Reggie Williams, but let me see. Who else? Christian Webb, and Coach Crum was the All-American coach from Louisville.
So they didn't take you out to the grotto to shoot the photos for that?
No. Actually, they flew us down. We didn't go to. All right, now I'm gonna get it all laid out for you. We didn't go to the mansion. Okay, that's what you wanted. We didn't go to the mansion. They flew us to Miami, and we had a weekend down in Miami and everything. That they took us on boat rides and everything, and took pictures of the All-American team.
yeah. Now, Tony, we probably shouldn't talk anymore about Playboy.
Yeah.
we're in the Baptist Bible Belt right here, and I don't want.
I didn't bring it up.
This might be detrimental if we go any further.
I'm
with this.
sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
I understand, Mike. I understand we're in the Bible Belt.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, I've written some things down here, and This is my 2024 proposal, the new criteria, if I was looking at it.
Oh,
the
Lord.
student athlete must have graduated from the University of Tennessee. The student athlete must have enrolled at the University of Tennessee for at least 3 years, because that will then make these players that were just under a 3-year requirement as far as participating more eligible.
Right.
Graduation can be attained throughout their lifetime, but until they get to graduation, they don't get the banner.
All right.
Anyone eligible for a retired jersey must meet this requirement. It's not optional. They got to meet it. Second, the student athlete must have demonstrated outstanding character, integrity, and commitment to the University of Tennessee during his or her athletic career. You got a police record. You've been picked up. You've made some mistakes. Sorry, you're out. And that is a requirement. Don't want a banner in there saying, boy, he was a great player. He was a really great player. But you remember when he got arrested out there on Alcoa Highway, when he was a junior? Don't want that.
Yep.
Don't want that. And I don't think that's what they want, the administration. SEC Player of the Year or 2-year All SEC first team. So you can be Player of the Year, but if you make All SEC first team in 2 of those years, because that's pretty tough in my year, because we were only eligible 3 years, so that means 2 of your 3 years you had to make first team All-American or the first team All-SEC. Selection to an All-American team, AP, UPI, Helms, Converse, Academic All-American, or any other legitimate All-American team. Honorable mention All-American, got a question mark beside that. Number 5, this is the big one. This is like the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's like the Basketball, Football Hall of Fame, whatever. Career overall stats should carry heavy weight based on the era, because all eras are different. Tony's already talked about that there this morning. Some players were under the three-point shot.
Yep.
Some players didn't have the shot clock.
Right.
So forth and so on. So some players played an era where you didn't play near as many games.
True.
So overall stats should carry heavy weight based on the era in which the student athlete participated. Overall stats of a player should be based on the number of years or games they were allowed to participate according to NCAA rules. Student athletes must be worthy of all 5 of these qualifying criteria. All 5. Tony, you're in, buddy.
Well,
you are. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You are in.
Well, thank you.
So,
I really appreciate it.
So what do you think?
Well, I can tell you this right here. It only took you about 20 minutes to vote me in? I sure appreciate that.
Wouldn't take
It didn't take.
Now
it
we
didn't
can just find out who the people are to vote him in. That's my question.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So
That's what I have.
So right now you have put everything together, Dwayne. Let's put where we are right now. You've put everything together, and you have pursued it. You've tried to make contacts over there. You've sent this material to certain individuals over there, but you haven't heard a thing back.
Nope.
So
No, I haven't.
So what's the next step?
That's why I've gone to you guys. Go to people out there that's listening and maybe get a groundswell of people. Hey, what about Tony White? What happened? Why has he not got his jersey retired? That's what I'm hoping, that this will get people talking, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me like, it seems like everything that's over there, you mentioned the Letterman's Club.
Right.
It seems like that universities would have committees. I mean, committees are big with businesses. You would think there would be an ongoing committee that would look at whatever honoring needs to be gotten done over there.
Exactly.
Whether it means a banner or a team picture or honoring an SEC champion, or I don't care what it is, there should be some type of committee that somebody can go to and talk to. Does that make sense or not?
It makes sense to me. And like I say, I've called over there a few times, and all I was wanting was the names of the people that's on that committee, and I have never been able to find that out. What I've seen, on the webpage, UT webpage, I've found a couple of names, but who is on it, and when do they ever meet, or?
Well, Dwayne, I'm gonna do you a favor, Dwayne.
What's that?
I'll personally escort you over, and I'll let you talk to my brother, Danny White. I'm talking White. So I'm telling you, White, for all the effort you have done for me today and everything, I personally would take you over there and we'll talk to Danny. We'll talk to Mr. White.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, he's my cousin now. Y'all know that, right? Yeah, White.
And Dwayne, if I win the lottery tonight, I'll take my checkbook over there with me, and we'll definitely get through the door, huh? What do you think of that deal?
That's what we need, is a big check.
All right. Well, we got to take a break, and then we're going to come right back, right, Donnie? We'll
Yes,
come right
sir.
back. We'll talk
That's
to
it.
Tony and Dwayne, and you got some high school scores, and we'll continue with the discussion. Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide high school scores and sports news from around the area, and then the Market Down segment will be up. You're listening to the Goatee Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have access to your money right away. When you enroll for direct deposit at Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union, your money comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com. Join us now. Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store? You can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From floors to cabinets and everything in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a reality. For anything home, we welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber, since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply.
Welcome back to the Goatee Sports Page. I'm Mike Edwards, and time for Donnie Moore to fill us in on some, golly, Donnie, some exciting high school basketball tournament action, huh?
District tournaments are going on right now. The regular season is behind us, and we are right in the middle of district tournament action, Mike. Can you believe it? This season has flown by, hasn't it? Basketball season. I don't know. Troy, has it?
Yeah, you're telling me, man. It's gone wildly fast. I can't believe it's almost over.
Going like a train.
Yeah.
In some cases, a train wreck, huh? But
Yeah.
it's gone. TSSAA high school basketball district tournaments are upon us and moving fast. So let's tell you all about it in the Mandy B. Street Realty local scoreboard. Thursday's action in the 2-2A quarterfinals. Eagleton made history again by the boys winning their first game in tournament action.
Ever.
Ever. That's right. History. That's what
One
I said.
for-
One for one right now.
One for one.
That's exactly right. They beat Oneida 45-41. Next up for the Royals in the semis, they meet the number 1 seed, Alcoa High School, tonight at 7:30
At Alcoa.
at Alcoa. So they got a tough row to hoe.
Defending state champions for a reason,
They
right?
sure do. Man. So but they're looking forward to it. They're looking forward to the chance to be there and
They've
and
won the
compete.
game that's going to, you win, you get the semifinals, you've got your semifinal game, and you've got another game to play for seeding, and you've got a region tournament game.
That's right.
So getting to the semis is all important in the TSSAA
You better
format.
believe it. You better believe it. So congratulations to the Royals on making history. No more Thursday night action in the 4-4A semifinal game in girls action. Farragut beat William Blunt 58-39. Next up for William Blunt, third place game, the consolation game at 6 p.m. Is that tonight?
It's Monday.
Monday night.
Monday night, Troy. You would know that, wouldn't you?
Girls are on Monday, boys are
That's
on Tuesday.
right. Girls
for
are on
4-4A.
Mondays and boys are on Tuesday. At 6 p.m., they take on the number 3 seed Maryville High School. Looking for a little redemption, Troy?
Yeah, they've gotten us twice, and I think we probably haven't put our best foot forward in both of those games, but I think we're playing a much better brand of basketball right now than we have earlier in the regular season. So we're looking forward to it.
Good. Good luck.
Thank you.
And that tournament is at Maryville. Yesterday in District 5 3A action in semis at Lenoir City, Heritage Lady Mountaineers took it to Loudon 51-24. They will play Monday at 7:30 versus Lenoir City. The tournament is at Lenoir City. Got a good shot, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting through that district tournament, Heritage had the number 1 seed in both girls and boys, and they're looking like they can hold serve and be hosting a region game in a week, in next week.
Congratulations to them. Boys action, Heritage beat Lenoir City 72-60 yesterday. And Eli Williams that put in a great game for them?
He did.
I think it was.
And I think he was just recently named District Player of the Year,
Yeah,
too.
District Player of the Year. Great job. They play Tuesday night, 7:30 versus South Doyle. So Mountaineers are looking strong right now.
Looking good.
Yeah, they are. District 4 4A semi last night.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow, what a game.
It really was. The Governors of William Blunt put up a fabulous game last night. Caden Wendell hit 27, and they had 17, I think, from Grady Robertson.
Both of who we had here last week.
Yes.
Visiting with us was Coach Wendell.
Could be two of the better players in the district.
Well, they're two of the better players, period.
Yeah.
Around, and you can, talking with them, you got the vibe. Just when we were talking to them, that what they've gone through this season, but having those 8 seniors, it felt like things were finally starting to click.
Yeah, they went through a slump.
And what they've done this week kind of says that may be the case. And if it is, people better watch out because they are not a number 5 seed.
Nope, they are. Well, they were on paper, but they beat Maryville last night 65-52, and they had at one point I think they had a 17-point lead. And
but they looked like a senior team, a
they
senior-dominated team.
They sure did.
They were getting
great leadership.
They were getting advantages, and they were making some defensive stops, and it was coming from the seniors matched up against sophomores and freshmen at Maryville.
They sure did. But the Govs, they'll have a chance to prove it Tuesday night when they take on the Bearden Bulldogs at Maryville, 7:30.
Great game that could be.
Yep. Bearden's the number 1 seed. Marcus, give us a rundown on the All-Star games that were played.
Oh, well, if you've missed it in all the district tournament action, middle school All-Star game was arranged. This was the second year for it. So Sevier County All-Stars from their middle schools took on the Blount County All-Stars from our middle schools. They held it over at Heritage for the second year.
Neighbors got to play.
So it was county rivalry, kind of like what we used to do with football 30 years ago. But the girls' game, I believe it was 63-59. The Blount County girls won. The boys' game went to double overtime.
Oh, my goodness.
And basically came down to a matter of possessions, and Blount came up a basket short of winning that. But it was a great game. From everything I've heard, it was a great night for all the middle school players that were out there. And it was a great event. I hope they continue this. We get a third annual coming up next year, hopefully.
Good. Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you for that report. Well, that's all for that I've got for
we got signing.
The Mandy B Street Realty. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we do have a signing. I did have that. A national letter of intent was signed this week. Jake Lovingood from Alcoa High School signed with Bryan College down in Dayton, Tennessee, for fishing.
Yes.
He waffled between baseball and fishing. His love of fishing.
He went with fishing, and the lakes
out.
will never be the same.
You better believe it.
But let me say, Brian's program is 10 years old. Their coach came up for the signing, got to visit with him a little bit. 3 national championship banners down there from the fishing team.
Yeah, in just 10 years, right?
They are pursuing the elite Bassmaster Trail on the college ranks. So they're not just competing against schools their size. They're fishing against the big schools and the SEC schools. And you're talking about 50 and 60 guys on these teams, so they're putting 25, 30 boats on the water.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to qualify anything past 10 boats. And
right.
Brian's doing a really good job.
That's great. Congratulations to Jake Lovingood. So I'm going to serve it over to Marcus now after I tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio. Marcus, here is your chance to shine for your feature. Mark it down.
Well, thanks, Donnie. I'm going to end up handing this back to Mike, but I do want to ask Tony a question while we've got him here because. When you came in for the show, you were talking with Mike. You didn't see this, but Donnie said, "Oh, you've seen him before?" And I was like, "Yeah." Last time I talked to Tony, I came up to his waist because I was in middle school, and I got him to sign. I got him to sign a program for me over at Stokely.
Oh wow!
And I just want to. Mike mentioned the crack and falling through cracks and this sort of thing, but when you think about. Like, have you ever had the wish that you may have been born 1 year later? Because if you'd been around one more season, you'd have been at that first season in the new arena.
Yeah.
You would have had the 3-point line.
Yeah.
There would have been such a world of difference because it feels like some of those guys who you played with who were younger and ended up in just like getting a lot of spotlight because they were playing in front of 20,000 people those first couple of years the arena was open. I mean, Mark Griffin, Dyron Nix, Doug Roth, those guys.
Oh, yeah.
They were all got a big spotlight right there, but it was like Tony White was the one who helped recruit those guys here because what you were doing was Don was able to go out and recruit on that as come to Tennessee.
True.
Did you ever wish you maybe had one more year left where you could have played in that new arena?
Well, yeah. But also, I'll tell you this right here. I would appreciate it if I did have one more year, but I wish that I could be born about now to play in the era now with the NIL money and everything. I was just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know, seven-figure recruit. I would put you on the recruit. I would put you on that recruiting our 7-figure NIL.
What are you saying, Tony?
I'm just saying.
Was that $15 a month laundry money not enough for you? It seemed to be enough for us. Well, it was probably more than $15 when you were there, wasn't it?
No. Now you got to remember now, Coach DeVoe, he was a Bobby Knight. He was a strict type fella.
He was.
Yeah. I mean, he ran a lot of them away now. I came right after Dale, and hey, Coach DeVoe ran everybody away. Yeah. So yeah, but no, I'm just, really, I wish that it's all about timing. Really, with the 3-point line. I mean, it just changed the game completely, and then it was more exciting. Then we ran that. Hey, we went from 45-second shot clock. Now we went to 30. So, passing the ball around, looking for the right, it's the timing, everything, it's all about the timing.
How do you think you would do in this game where when the three-point line first came in, it was a novelty.
Right.
You know, it was like nobody took it serious till the U.S. team got beat overseas by the three-point game.
Right.
And that was when people started taking the three-point line seriously and start looking at putting it in college. But it was, even those first couple of years, it was like, okay, you would set up somebody to be wide open to take a three, but you might take 6, 7, 8 a game. Now the whole offense runs around that three-point line.
Well,
does that just make you want to be, man, what I could do with that situation?
Yeah, and then plus, the coaches are giving you the freedom to shoot the three-point. Now, just remind now, I played with Don DeVoe. He didn't like the three-point line. He voted against it, so I didn't have the freedom. To shoot the three-point. Now, I was a scorer, but I didn't have the freedom to shoot the three-point. I'm just letting y'all know that now. Now, I took all those responsibilities when I was shooting the three on my own. So if I made them, I'm okay with them. But if I miss them, I'm getting fudged at. So it didn't matter to me. But I just enjoyed playing.
Well, if we had a rejuvenation machine, I got to say there are two guys I would have on my team are sitting at this table,
Exactly.
and that's you and Mike.
Oh yeah.
My third guard would probably be Ted Cook, but. That was who I would love to have as my three-point shooters.
When long shots back in those days went in and they only counted twos, those were real special twos. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they were special, but they didn't count anymore.
Coach Mears, he used that 2-point outside shot with me. He worked me in practice every day, throw him the ball, we worked an hour.
Right.
And he tried to get me out as far as he could get me because he felt like that if I hit one out there, it could turn the tide of the momentum of the game, the crowd, and everything's it was a true home run. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It didn't count but 2 points. But it could have meant a lot more than the 2 points as far as the momentum swings and so forth.
Exactly.
He was smart enough to know that, which was very unusual for a lot of coaches at that time. And he was just as a disciplined coach as Coach DeVoe was. So,
Yeah, but he liked the long shot.
Yeah, he did. He didn't discourage me from shooting one bit.
I
wasn't discouraged from doing that at
I'm
all.
Just saying, Coach,
I never saw a shot I didn't like.
I second that emotion.
Hey, let's talk about one thing we didn't talk as much about was the difference in the different eras. My era, your era, and the time today. When they go on, they say, well, he played 4 years, or he played 3 years, or he played whatever, but never more than 4 years. But fans need to understand that these players today, and after you were there, they play more than 4 years compared to the number of games that you and I play.
Right.
My year, we played 25 games a year, and if we went postseason, I think my career ended up at 77 games.
Okay.
That's only 25. That's 3 seasons. We'd had freshmen weren't eligible. And I don't know, you're probably somewhere that, maybe a little bit north of it, I don't know. But today's players, they play more games. They play 30-plus games, and they play 4 years. So if you look at the totals that they have, a lot of them will end their careers having played 130 or 135 games. So comparing statistics to somebody that played 77 or 80 games or whatever you played to somebody that played 130, that's hard to have a level ground, Tony. That's hard to have a level ground.
True, because there's more opportunities for you to improve what you're doing, your stats or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just
especially your scoring stats.
Well, okay, true.
Yeah, these guys that score, a lot of points. Well, I'm just as a perfect example. At 77 games, at 25 games a year, when you if somebody hit 1,000 points back there, I'm telling you right now, you got a nice write-up in the paper. That was a big deal.
Yeah, because there were twos.
Yeah, because you didn't have as many games and so forth. And
True.
so 1,000, that was a plateau.
Right.
But now I look at guys and they hit 1,000 points, and I'm going, well, you ought to have been able to do that left-handed. You played 135 ball games.
Well, now they're playing 5 and 6 years.
Yeah, with COVID.
Well, we want to talk about the 6 years.
It's not nearly as big a deal, see.
I wish I had a 6-year scholarship. Oh, man, just imagine.
But anyway, hey, let's talk a little bit about your playing days over here. You played at Stokely Athletic Center.
Right.
I played at Stokely Athletic Center What do you think of that place as a shooting court? What do you think of it?
It was. I mean, the atmosphere was great. I love the atmosphere.
Yeah, but I'm talking about as a shooter. What did you think of it?
I'm talking about as a shooting. It was. I loved it.
Are you sure?
Hey, see, because I played on cement.
I hated that place.
I
absolutely despised that place. I mean, it was all open back there. You go to the sides, it's all open back there.
No,
I mean, it was a wide open. I couldn't wait to get on the road. Where's our next road game? I want to go to the road.
Now, see, now from the width, the size, it was spaced out.
Yeah.
But not from the.
No, out front.
See, there you go.
So you took all your shots out front.
Oh, man, pull up. Oh, man. Yeah, see?
That's what I thought.
I adjusted.
That's what I thought. You had the balcony back there.
Hey, I adjusted to Stokely. I'm like, okay, now this is too far because everything go all the way up.
Exactly. You got on the wings with the ball. You worked on assists, right?
Hey, no. When I got on the wing, I dribbled toward the middle of the court and pulled up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I did do adjusting there because it was kind of, the space was different, but, you're playing at home, you just got to pick your poison,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about other courts in the SEC?
Oh man, I love Vandy.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite.
Oh
court.
man,
I love to play at Vanderbilt.
At Vanderbilt? Really?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I love
the greatest shooting court.
Oh man, listen,
it was like Butler Fieldhouse in Indianapolis.
Hey man, I had my first 30 points slam dunk at Vandy. So
really?
Yeah. So that's when I was a freshman.
Great, great shooting court.
Oh man, nice. And I like playing up in Rupp.
Yeah, I never played at Rupp. I played at the old place. I played at the old place.
I love playing up in Rupp. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years you played over there at UT. What did you take away from them?
Excuse me?
What'd you take away? What'd you take away from those 4 years over there? What was special to you?
Oh, what was special to me? Oh man, just having the opportunity to develop as a young man. That really helped me a lot, coming from the inner city of Charlotte, North Carolina, and learning, took away how to prove myself as growing up and everything over at the University of Tennessee, and also, playing with playing with all my players. I mean, when I got inducted into the Tennessee State Hall of Fame, I wanted to invite all the former players that I played with. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be Tony White because they helped me out so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You played for Don DeVoe, and Don DeVoe and I crossed some paths together a little bit, and he was always so nice to me. He'd sit down and talk, and I'm like some conversation. I'd go, Coach, my eligibility's up. You don't have to recruit me. I'm done.
Okay.
But he was always, he played in the Midwest at Ohio State, and I was from Indiana.
Right. Okay.
And he was coaching with Bob Knight at the United States Military Academy at West Point.
Right.
And so they recruited me. I filled out all the paperwork, and he recruited me there at West Point. And then he played against my high school coach, Mel Garland.
Right.
Mel was an all Big Ten player at Purdue. So he knew Coach Garland and all about him. And so we had some pretty good conversations. We had something in common. Always special. I always really felt good around him. It made me feel comfortable. And,
Did he?
He made me feel comfortable. maybe I'd been around Coach Mears so long, because Coach Mears was he was kind of a hard guy to talk to. But Don DeVoe, maybe I got to Don DeVoe, and I go, man, listen, this is really refreshing. I'm talking to this guy.
Hey, I am having flashbacks, man. I am literally. I'm wondering, where was that man when I played?
Yeah. But Tony, maybe you should have played for Coach Mears and I should have played for Don, huh?
Maybe so. I'm just saying. Because one of the coaches told me, now that they say, Tony, they said, you know what, Don can't understand you. No, really. So he said, Don is used to forwards. Listen to all the great players that Don and coaches and everything. They were forwards. Dale Ellis, Reggie Johnson. They were big guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the assistant coach told me, Donnie Vo never had a guard that can do the things that I did on the court. So he didn't know what to do. So, so I'm telling you, most of the times when I was taking shots, I tell you one thing, if I didn't make it, boy, I was in trouble. I'm going to be honest with you. The shot selection and everything, if I didn't make those shots, I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And me and Don at first, we had because Don strictly defense, and I was like, hey, man, I like to run up and down the court. So he took the ball out of my hand, put Fred Jenkins at point guard, and put me at the 2 guard.
Really?
Yeah, because when I was at point, oh, man, I'm running. Son, throw the ball down. I'm like, Coach, hey, I'm trying to get down before these big guys get here. but, I mean, I didn't know Don was that nice, really.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was ready to sign another Grantonade. Hell, I was ready to go.
I really didn't know Don was that nice.
I was checking my eligibility.
Hey, listen. Hey, only thing I know about Don, he was 6'6", and I was catching a lot of spit when he was fussing and cussing. Yeah.
I'd go. Hey, listen. I'd go out with. You talking about forwards and inside players?
Yeah.
I'd go out with Coach Mears, and every once in a while he'd get on. He'd try to shoot me down, in front of people.
Yeah.
He'd do that every once in a while. And I'd say, one time he did that, and I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, when I was a junior, I said, you remember when I played over at a junior? Yeah. I said, I averaged 19.4 points a game for you.
Right.
I said, I was the SEC Player of the Year, and we won an SEC championship.
Wow.
What did you decide to do when I become a senior? He got to sit there, and I said, you decided to go inside. Remember, you decided to go inside to Lynn Kosmosky the next year, remember? Inside. We're going to go into Lenny. We're going to go into Lenny. You got me 111 less shots. 111 less shots my senior year. What could we have done with those 111 shots, Coach?
Hey.
Did I get you that many less shots? I said, let me show you the damn book. Right here, look. So anyway,
Hey, I understand. That's great. But hey, I have a story like that too. Now it's totally different. Yeah, I was.
Well, you keep coming because I got some more.
Okay, well, we was going to Hawaii, but we had to play USC, and so we played USC. Coach Raveling and everything. And first half, I was hot. I think I had like 18 points first half. So second half, Coach DeVoe told assistant coach, we're gonna run 4 dunk in. That was his call. 4, we're gonna duck in down. 4, we're dunking in down. So the other coach over there said, shh, don't say nothing. We ain't got nobody to guard Tony White, but they want to run 4 dunk and down. Let them keep running the play. Don't say nothing. They say, oh, man. So, but, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Hey, we're going to come back with Tony White here in a few minutes. We're going to go and we're going to turn the page and announce the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. It's going to be up. You're listening to the GOTee Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply. The Blue Tick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza, made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Blue Tick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Blue Tick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
Your newspaper? That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the Daily Times.
For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net. Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland. Excellence in service.
Since 1925.
Welcome back to the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the Goatee Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring Marcus Fitzsimmons and Troy Provo Heron. This segment is proudly sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority, proudly serving Blount County for over 75 years. Marcus, it's all yours and Troy's, buddy.
Well, thanks, Mike.
We're going to catch our breath.
We have a conflict of interest this morning because we have Troy wearing both hats this morning as an assistant coach and as a member of the show. So we're going to put Troy on the spot because I didn't warn him I was going to do this. Troy, can you introduce who's visiting with us this morning?
I hear. You didn't tell me, but I knew it was coming. I know you pretty well. So, yeah, obviously to the far left for those watching, obviously it's my boss over here and Coach Kallenberg. In the middle, it's Chloe Russell, our lone senior, who's kind of turned it on here late and really helped us kind of keep this thing alive. And to my right over here, right next to me, is Taylor Rule, sophomore guard. And I think Coach K would agree with me that we're not sitting here still playing basketball if it's not for the way that she defended Kendra West on Tuesday against Hardin Valley. Probably her best game of her season, maybe the best game of her career, and so our team MVP of the week for sure.
Does anybody think Troy showed enough deference to his other boss there? That didn't sound like a lot of build-up.
Well, I've had to deal with them all season at this point, so, I've gotten made fun of a lot and all that stuff. So, I think we're just –
Well, Coach, we're glad to have you with us this morning.
Thank y'all for having us.
You have all of our sympathies from here at the show for who you have to work with. You might need to talk with the athletic director about staff improvements and more money down the road. This team, you had one game you had to win, and you got it. Talk about how important it was to win that Hardin Valley game and what you thought the team had to do going into that game.
I thought it was very important. Obviously, it's something that we talked to them after the game, that in order to understand how to get past things, you have to put yourself in those situations. It was a game that when we went over there early in the year, they beat us pretty good. Played them at our place the second time, and we were up 17 and going into the fourth quarter and blew that lead, lost in overtime. But I felt like that we matched up really well with them. And going into that game, I felt like if we could clean a couple of things up, that they were going to have some problems. And we did. The kids came out, and you could tell that they just had a different sense about them. We kind of went through the same little hill and valley that we did where things kind of started teetering, and they found a way. So I think it was big for them to see, the things that we had struggled with through the course of the year during some different games kind of come to fruition in that game and then be able to come out on the other side of it.
I'll put this to either one of the players or both of you. After what happened with the end of the Hardin Valley game in the regular season, that big lead, and one of the people here who we're not going to mention turned it off thinking y'all had won. How much did that game play into your mind that you had to prove something when you got another chance with Hardin Valley?
I think that game kind of just helped us going forward into the Hardin Valley game that we won, and that we just all put in our best effort on that last game.
Chloe, you also had we were kind of making fun of this. The guy they did senior night, and the guys had this long line of guys running out there. You're the only girl.
Yeah.
It was like, what was senior night like for you? Just to kind of mark your career with William Blount.
It was good. I mean, everyone came out and supported, and just a great group of kids and coaching staff to help us throughout the season and all through my 4 years. It was fun.
Does it get on? Do you kind of look forward to it and kind of like, I don't want to celebrate yet. I don't want this to be over. Is there a mix of emotion when you go out there?
Yeah. I didn't know if I wanted it to be over with. I really don't want it to be over with at all. But I didn't want that game to come as quickly as it did.
Coach, it's a little bit of a struggle when you don't have 2 or 3 seniors to rely on to help lead the team. How has this team kind of come together as far as who do you look for as your leaders? Because you've only got one senior, so you're looking some other places, right?
We are, and I think it's something that we talk about all the time, and I think it's something that we're still trying to develop even this late in the year because we are so young. I think that they're not a real vocal team, and that's something that we struggle with a lot at times. But I think a lot of these kids lead just in different ways about the way they go about their roles. Like, Troy kind of alluded to it the other night. We don't win that game without Taylor. But you look at the stat sheet, and I think she ended up scoring 2 points or 4 points. And it was one thing I tried to drive home to the kids after the game was there's only one basketball out there, right? Now, of course, these 2 guys, that's all they needed was the one basketball. But the point I was
there's not enough basketballs to go around right now with me and him
that's right.
in this room.
That's right. So it was a point I tried to drive home to them was you can affect the game in so many different ways. And, Taylor that night, she took on her role and she led by performing her role, to the best of her ability. So they do it in different ways, but it's still a constant struggle because you can see when we do hit those times of adversity, we don't have that vocal leader that's like, hey, it stops here or, it's okay. Or so it's still a struggle on that point. But, they try to lead differently in the roles that they have. So
a quiet team.
Yes.
That's amazing. You might want to relish that when you look back on it in a year or two. Taylor, what is the team's focus going into regions? Because it's the postseason, so what happened the last 25 games really doesn't matter except for a seed.
Yeah, absolutely. We're playing, we're supposed to play Campbell County, I believe, on Friday. So we're looking to beat them. We stuck with them the first game against them, and then our second game, it wasn't so great. So I think it kind of stung a little, knowing that we can hang with them. But when they came out and beat us by, I don't know, a lot, I'd say, that second game, it definitely stung. So I think we're looking to just keep moving forward, doing the best we can, don't want to get out yet.
It's always just one win away.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
Coach, what have you done? Because you had to go through that district. We won't call it the district of death, but I've said this.
It feels like it.
This show has said it for many times, even though it's a smaller district now than it was previously when there were only 3 classifications. It still feels like you can be one of the best 15, 20 teams in the state and still be a 4 seed in this district. Right,
and actually we ended up, as a 5 seed. But it is. There's no, for the most part, there's no nights off. It's kind of, it's kind of like the SEC right now, right? No matter where you go, you gotta lace it up. And I think it's something with them too that, minus one team in our district. We've competed with every team in our district. It's always just been this 1 4-6 minute segment or this one quarter that it gets away from us. And so, just trying to get them to see that that we belong here and we can compete here. There's just some things that, we got to continue to clean up and get better at. But it's hard with kids, at that age when you look up and you're preaching hard work and this kind of stuff, and you look up, we're on the wrong side of the scoreboard again. So you try to find small victories and things that, just kind of keep them going and keep that motivation and that kind of stuff. But I definitely think it prepares us outside, when we go play other people from the other side of the region or go play other people from, other parts of the state, because what we have to face in our district.
Troy, you ready to be on the hot seat now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Tell us first year.
Yeah.
What have you learned? What's been the biggest lesson for Troy as far as coaching goes?
For one, I know that this guy over here doesn't do much sleeping as much as things as he draws up in the way he sees the game. So I don't know. The thing I've learned is just like that kind of balance. I think we've had a group that. I think these two would agree with me that we've had some really tough times this year, or we've blown some leads in games we felt we should have won. We've played bad against teams that I thought we could have competed against. We've had some really big wins. I think back to December when we beat Morristown East and coach and staff walked in the locker room and y'all doused us with water. We've had those highs and those lows this year, and trying to find the balance of holding them accountable for that, but also being there to support them and understand that I think Coach Kane and I would both sit here and say that we've taken a step forward as a program, and our hope was to win Tuesday so that we could have the tangible evidence of that. I think that's why that Hardin Valley game was so important for us as a coaching staff. And so, yeah, just trying to make sure that they know, hey, this is where we want to put this thing, whether it be next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 from now. And this is what it's going to take, but also understand that it's a really young team. And so they're not going to always get that, instantly. It's going to take time for them to understand what it takes to get it done. And I like to think that in the last week, starting with that senior night game against Walker Valley and going into Tuesday and beating Hardin Valley, and even really playing 24 decent minutes against Farragut the other night and just having one bad quarter against them that cost us, that they're starting to realize that I think that we can get this program where we want it to be.
Now, see, this sounds so much different than what you would say when you were writing sports as a reporter side of it.
Yeah.
Do you feel the difference?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to be honest with you. I really enjoy this side of it a lot more. It's just I really enjoy getting to be with the kids. It's been a really fun group to be around from day one. I remember lacing up my shoes my first practice and everybody looking at me like, what the heck is this guy doing here? And so it's just been fun to kind of build those relationships with them. I think some of them are getting tired of me a little bit, but yeah, it's been fun. I love it over here.
So, Chloe, let's be honest. Has Troy been like a freshman? Like you all have had to show him around and where things are and how to do things? Is that?
Yeah. And he's really hyper. Very hyper.
We've known that for a long time.
Well, Troy, we're going to ask you to do one official thing here. You've got a plaque sitting in front of you.
I do.
And you've got a senior sitting there beside you. Could you go and do the Anderson Lumber Company presentation for Player of the Week?
Congratulations, Chloe.
Thank you.
Let's go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, guys, we thank you for coming and visiting with us this morning, especially in the midst of the postseason and the way it is. We wish you the best of luck in the region tournament. And same thing I tell every team that comes on here, we love having state champions. So if you want to win your way back on here, we give you that high goal to achieve.
Well, and I know we're running short on time, but you were talking about roles real quick. I want to bring this up because I feel like it's something that needs to be noted. So last year, this kid sitting next to me led the state of Tennessee in charges taken and finished 7th in the country. Now, of course, this is based on max prep, so not everybody, but I looked up this morning. Not only is she leading the state of Tennessee in charges again by a wide margin, she is also now 1st in the country in charges taken. And I just think that's the most unselfish act in the game of basketball that you can do for your teammates, and it's something that's obviously a huge game changer for us. So I just think that's something that needs to.
It's also a good way to get very well acquainted with the floor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Chloe spends a lot of time on the floor. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we wish all the best of luck. And, again, congratulations on winning the way into the region tournament.
Thank you.
Mike, I think we'll go ahead and turn the page.
Thanks, Mark. It's time for a break. And when we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight as Goatee Sports Page veteran Donnie Moore will have the sports headlines, and then our crew will talk some SEC basketball. You're listening to the Goatee Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store? You can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From floors to cabinets and everything in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a reality. For anything home, we welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber, since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply. Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have access to your money right away. When you enroll for direct deposit at Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union, your money comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com.
Join us now.
Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
Welcome back to the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd's Sports Spotlight. And first up is Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore with this week's sports headlines. And Donnie, the Super Bowl is in the books. We told those guys not to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
We did, didn't we? And wasn't it a great game, though?
It really was.
Man, what a great game.
The first quarter about put me to sleep.
Well, it did. After that, it just turned into
one of the
fabulous game.
One of the great games, I think, in Super Bowl history.
Sure was. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Here are this week's sports headlines brought to you by Fast Signs. Well, University of Iowa phenom Caitlin Clark etched her name in the record books in style Thursday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The senior from West Des Moines scored the first 8 points of the game for the Hawkeyes to reset the NCAA women's career scoring record, passing Kelsey Plum with 3,528 points. Clark poured in a career-high 49 points in the game, a 106-89 victory over Michigan. She made 16 of 31 shots, including 9 of 19 three-point attempts. She was also credited with 13 assists and 5 rebounds. Although Clark is a senior, she does face a decision. Does she take another year of college eligibility granted by the NCAA because of COVID, and chase the undisputed NCAA all-time scoring record held by Pistol Pete Maravich, which is 3,667. Clark currently has 3,569. Or does she call it a college career and declare for the WNBA draft, in which she would likely be the number 1 overall pick. What would you do, Tony?
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for that. That wasn't fair.
Well,
That's a good question, isn't it?
Well, I would be eligible before the draft. I would leave. I'm already successful. I done.
You've already proved your point.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah, she is already successful.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the time is now for her to go professional.
To go pro.
And she's still, what, 600, 700 points behind the collegiate women's record?
Yes.
Which is AIAW.
Yes.
But
yeah,
and
she's chasing the NCAA record, which is Pistol Pete, held by Pistol Pete.
But the women's all-time collegiate record was over 4,000.
Of course, 700 points, she could do that in 3 games. No.
Well, she could do it in 12.
Yes, she could. You're right.
Depending on how far they go, if they were to make it back to the championship game, it's within reach.
Yeah, it's within reach for her. She shoots that thing from near mid-court anyway.
You just feel like she really has nothing left to prove in the college game.
True.
Because you're in this day and age, I don't know that the NIL money to have her come back wouldn't be more than a WNBA contract.
No, absolutely not.
You never know in this
I
day
wouldn't
and
say
age.
that.
Well, you're right. It could.
I wouldn't say that.
It could. You're right.
I wouldn't say that now.
But
NIL money is getting to be
she's been great
very lucrative.
She's been great for the game.
She has been great for the game.
When you think about I won't say lack of talent, but the lack of star talent that's been at UConn, which was carrying the women's game for so long. Yeah. She's exactly what the women's game needed when they needed it.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. Anyway, she's a phenom, absolutely a phenomenal athlete, basketball player.
She's put a whole new light on how amazing Pistol Pete's record is.
You're right.
The fact that he scored all those points under the 2 point.
Yeah, right. I mean it's just what we've been talking about.
2 point category, and what a great player he was.
Just as we've been discussing. Yeah.
And the best part about that game was it wasn't just the 49 points. She had like 14 assists in that game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. She had 13 assists, 5 rebounds.
Like if their first 30-something points, she contributed to every basket, either scoring it or setting it up with the assist.
Mm-hmm. Average 32.2. Yeah. Well, the Daytona 500 culminates Speed Week in Daytona, Florida, and racing fans from around the world will be watching and listening tomorrow when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gives the command to start engines at 2:59 p.m. Eastern, and the green flag is waved at 3:11 p.m. by DJ Khaled. The drivers will race for 200 laps, 500 miles, around the world-famous Daytona International Speedway. The weather forecast calls for clouds with the potential for heavy rainfall at race time. The high temp will be 60 degrees with an 88% chance of rainfall at the start of the race.
They're not going to run that race tomorrow.
I don't think they will either.
Or tomorrow, yeah.
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, it's that's too much of a chance of rain down
You better
there.
believe it. The pole sitter is Joey Logano, and just outside of him is Michael McDowell. Logan competes for Penske Racing, and McDowell for FRM, which is Front Row Motorsports. Front Row Motorsports is kind of a new outfit, isn't it?
Well, Tim Cindric, that's in that race.
Yeah.
Is it Tim or is that his dad's name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
It's Cindric.
Cindric, yeah.
The driver. He's going to wear a helmet designed like Jill DeFerrin's helmet that just recently passed away. So
yeah, good.
See how he does.
Good. Raiders backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was suspended by the NFL yesterday for the first 2 games of next season for violating the performance-enhancing drug policy of the league. It was also reported by ESPN that the Raiders are expected to release Garoppolo next month before an $11.25 million roster bonus takes effect.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, really.
Well, you mean they're going to drop him before they have to drop $11 million on him?
Yeah. Supposedly, Jimmy G used a prescribed medication without having a valid therapeutic use exemption from the league.
Well, you do some things when you're sitting on the bench behind a rookie.
Yeah.
When you just signed a 3-year deal and you only got 6 games into it.
No, yes, you're exactly right. Well, entertainer Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to the family of Lisa Lopez Galvan, the woman killed in the shooting in the KC Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. The messages accompanying 2 posts under Swift's name on a GoFundMe page Friday read, quote, "Sending my deepest sympathies and condolences in the wake of your devastating loss. With love, Taylor Swift." End of quote. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's real. That's nice.
Division II's Francis Marion College, Lauren Taylor set an NCAA women's record for any division on Thursday night with 44 rebounds in a single game.
Wow.
44 boards.
Well, they must have shot poorly.
I was going to say, how bad? What was the shooting percentage in that game?
Yeah.
5%? Was it 12 to 10?
Coming from a shooter like that.
Really.
Hey, boy, that shot bad.
The previous mark of 38 rebounds had stood since 1983. Taylor also scored a career-high 34 points on the evening, a win over North Greenville.
Was that North Greenville Middle School?
Could have been.
Okay.
Only Bill Chambers of Division I William and Mary has out-rebounded Taylor in a single game with 51 boards versus Virginia in 1953.
Boy, now they really couldn't shoot then.
Heck, Wilt Chamberlain's collegiate high was only 36.
Wow.
51. Wow.
Yeah. Rob
You know how many
Manfred.
baskets you have to miss?
Yeah, a lot. Rob Manfred, 65, who has served as Major League Baseball commish since January of 2015, has set the date of his retirement, and it is the last day of the season of the year 2028. We have to put up with him till then. Manfred is the 10th person to hold the title since its institution in 1920 in the wake of the Black Sox scandal. Highlights of Manfred's tenure include the World Baseball Classic's explosive growth and the successful installation of the new rules package in 2023. But he won widespread criticism for his handling of labor relations and the Oakland Athletics relocation to Las Vegas.
I don't understand that at all, and I don't see the wisdom in giving the owners that much notice. Because you're basically saying ignore me for the next 3 years.
Well, that was his last contract extension.
I mean, you're basically ignore me from here on out. Do what you want.
Yeah, he's a lame duck.
I'm lame duck, but I'm going to be lame duck for 3 years.
Yep, 3 more years.
I mean,
but he says that's when I'm going out, like it or not, unless you impeach me, I guess.
Well, anyway.
But he's there until the last day
He
of the
announced
season.
that, and then he went after Billy Infold. So
yeah. Well, that's it for this week's sports headlines, brought to you by Fast Signs. Now let's bring the Boyd Sports Spotlight into sharp focus. Back to you, Gunner.
Okay, thanks, Donnie. And now I'm back with volunteer basketball great Tony White. And Tony, let's go back in time a little bit. The night you scored 51 points. 51 points. I was there that night. I remember it very well.
Okay.
And what did it develop during the game? Did you get a lot of shots that night, or just everything you threw up there went in? But you got a pretty well defensive coach in Don DeVoe, and he left you in there, huh?
Oh yeah.
Was everybody aware that you were close to the record? Or?
Yeah. I think the last 5 minutes everybody was aware that I was close to the record, and in Auburn, they just kept fouling.
Good foul.
We was up, but they just kept fouling, and And there's a history between that Auburn game, Sonny Smith. Now, Sonny Smith had I think it was Sylvester Groom. I guess one of his coaches came down to Independence High School. That was in Charlotte. And what happened was Gerald White and Frank Ford signed that day while they was offering me a scholarship to go to Auburn. And they took it back. They took their scholarship back.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sonny Smith said that, make a long story short, he took the wrong White. Yeah, see, because they were Gerald White and Frank Ford.
Yeah.
So they had, it was my running mate at Independence High School, Jeff McGill. Jeff McGill and myself, they offered us a scholarship, and we sit down talking like we're like now. And what happened was he got a call from the university and got up, said, excuse me, came back and said, hey, guys, I'm sorry. Sorry to take the scholarship away from you, but Frank Ford and Gerald White signed, and that was one of my motivating factors was I was wanting to drive Sonny Smith crazy.
Yeah. Well, you did for 51 points in that. And I never got close to 50. I had 36 a couple of times, but I didn't get close to 50. But a story. When I was a freshman, we had a freshman team.
All right.
You had freshman teams. You played a 24-game schedule, like the varsity played. And I was fortunate. I averaged 30 points a game as a freshman. Had a really good year coming down from Indiana. But I had a couple of 42-point nights. And in both of those games, I had time left, and they took me out.
Wow.
They took me out of the game because they didn't know. And Coach Mears told me this years and years later. He says, we just didn't really know. If you broke that 50 as a freshman, we didn't really know how that was going to set because that could have been the arena record.
Right.
But you weren't on the varsity, but you broke the record, so we pulled you. So anyway, that was the story, and I always go back to him and say, well, why'd you pull me, man? Well, I know Tony got 51, but why would you pull me?
Yeah, timing. Yeah, you're right. That's I'm telling you, timing is something else.
That's just you were a freshman, you was on a freshman team. Too bad.
Yeah,
they don't count. Good practice for a whole year. Good practice for the varsity. That's all you got out of it.
Wow.
Anyway.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
But was that your shining moment? Was that your shining moment as far as playing over there, the 51 points, or did you have something else? Did you hit any last-second shots? Or?
Well, that was great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed that and everything, but no, I would say the time that we was playing Southeastern or Southwestern Louisiana. It was in NIT, and we was down by. I think we were down by 7. Down by 7 with maybe 20 seconds left to go in the game or whatever. And I saw people walking out of Stokely. And that was the game that if we won, we get to go to New York. So we're down by 7. Coming back from that game to win, that was one of my greatest moments.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I stole the ball twice. I played defense.
There you go.
I took a charge.
Yeah. And they played that up for you, didn't they? Hey, look at this guy. What an all-around player Tony White was. Look at this. Made a steal. Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah.
That's what they used to say about me, and then Coach Trail said, well, you never passed the ball. And somebody came by the house one time and gave me a program.
Right,
and it was against Kentucky, and I was making a pass to a wing guy, and they had it on the front of the program, and I said, looky there, buddy.
Yeah.
I did. I made one pass, and there it is right there.
There you go. Yeah. So, I said that was one of my great shining moments. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Well, Stokely Athletic Center. What did you think about the fans? I mean, what do you think about the –
Oh, man.
What about did you think it was a really good home court advantage?
Yeah. It was.
Did?
Yeah. See, I was one of the players that if the crowd was quiet, I sit up here and tell them, hey, y'all got to stand up. See, I was like, what? y'all coming to a game, but you're quiet. You're sitting down. Y'all got to get up on your feet.
That's what I'm saying. We called it the tune. I mean, you know what? We go on the road. We play at Vanderbilt. They throw oranges at us. They boo us. They spit on us on the road. And we come home, and they announce the other team's players, and the fans they're clapping. They're clapping for the other team in the lineup, and I'm going, man, this is bad. It's not good.
Well, no.
These are the nicest people I've ever been around in my life.
Hey, yeah. So really. So I had to do something to motivate the fans to get up and everything. So to clap, to cheer, and everything. So yeah.
You played overseas.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yes.
How did you like that?
Oh wow, man, that was a great experience.
Where did you play over there?
I played in Greece. Well, I'll start off in Belgium. France, Greece, Israel. I played almost in every country because I played teams that played the European Cup, and they traveled to Russia, Yugoslavia. I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Japan, Korea.
And he's been an MVP in a lot of those
leagues. He
could
work for the UN or ambassador.
Go ahead.
How was Belgium? I had a chance to go to Belgium. I went to Mexico.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that.
Well,
I went to Mexico and played, but I had a chance to go to Belgium. How'd you like Belgium?
I love Belgium. Belgium was nice. My son, Ronrico, he was born in Belgium, so I enjoyed it, and it was great. I mean, the fan base and everything. Of course, basketball was over there. Basketball over there was second to, of course, soccer. Y'all know that. But,
of course.
Of course.
But in Mexico, we had bullfighting. See, we had bullfighting and.
Oh, yeah. I played over in Spain. I don't know if I told you I was over in Spain. Oh, yeah. I don't know why they want to run with the Bulls. You know what I mean? I just didn't get that. I will just be honest with you. I just didn't get that. But Belgium was real nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
At the time, Italy, we talk about money.
Right.
Players tried to get to Italy or France. They seemed to be the two countries that paid the most. Is that pretty much the way it was when you were playing?
Pretty much. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, Italy was, considered the NBA over in Europe. The top league. Then from that you got Spain, and then you go to France.
Yeah.
And those were actually the top three countries that paid well.
Huh.
Yeah. But you had to be on top of your game there because you was basically I'll just tell you, I was just Tony White Incorporated. There was no union. You didn't have a association or nothing like that. So you had to make sure all your ducks was in a row.
You had to represent yourself.
You had to represent yourself, and you also had to get all your documents that was in their language. You had to hire your lawyer to get it translated in English. Make sure everything that you're reading is up to date.
Exactly.
And a lot of players didn't do that.
Yeah. There was a game, I don't know whether you remember, or maybe it was for your time, where UCLA with Lou, at that time was Lou Alcindor, before he was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the University of Houston had Elvin Hayes, and they played in the Astrodome. And one of the players on that team was Ken Spain. Ken Spain played with Elvin Hayes, and also he played on the '68 Olympic team.
Okay.
And he was a teammate of mine in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And we got to know him real well. My wife was down there, and we became really good friends with him. But he had a lot of stories. He played for Hank Stram. He got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, believe it or not.
Wow.
And went out and played for Hank Stram, and he was a tight end out there.
Okay.
And anyway, he said, he says, I've been all over the place. Said, I just need to stay someplace for a little bit. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, when I played for Kansas City, they just up and traded me to Cincinnati.
Right.
And I went to Cincinnati and checked into the motel and unpacked everything and laid back on the bed to look at the TV, and the sports came on, and they had traded me to Houston. And I hadn't even got the call, so I had to pack everything up, go on back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he was a really great guy. We shared a lot of a lot of stories. We had plenty of time to share them because our trips were in on buses, and the shortest trip we had was 36 hours.
Right.
We were stationed in Mexico City, but we played in Chihuahua and Torreon and Texaco, and we went all over. The only time we ever took anything different was a train, and we thought we'd died and gone to heaven to be on that train.
Right.
But
times have changed.
But I'm sure you had a lot of experience over in Europe
yes.
too. So,
I had a great experience over in Europe.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about this Tennessee basketball team this year.
Okay.
Your thoughts on this team at this point in the season, and maybe compare it to maybe some of the other teams Coach Barnes has had, and whether this may be his best chance to move forward in the tournament, maybe an Elite Eight or a Final Four or whatever.
I think it is. I mean, of course, as you know, we was lacking something last year, a scorer, a go-to guy, and everything has came, how you said, like, you're a good cook, right? Y'all like good food, good steaks and everything. Okay. Well, like, you got to marinate everything, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Put the flavor in there, smoke it, and, whatever. So now is the time that we got Connect now. So he was the missing ingredient for us because it take the pressure off for Scovey, Josiah James, and our point guard, Ziegler. And then, we got the defensive players. We got the defense. We got the finisher now. And that was one of the big keys that we didn't have last year. So this is the year for us. The guys just got to go out and understand that this is a very pivotal time right now.
What do you worry about with this basketball team?
What I worry about this team is that everyone has to don't put all the pressure on Connect. Everyone still got to maintain their level of play. We need everybody. We need Ziegler. We need Vescovi to hit the three-pointers. We need Josiah to show that he's there. He does the little things for us, but we need a little bit more from him. He rebounds, defend well, and everything, but we need a little bit more from him.
What worries me, and this is pretty much the story with the Coach Barnes' career since I've seen him coach here, is the inconsistency of the point production of all the players except Connect. He's got Connect now. He's consistent. But I'm telling you, I swear that Coach Barnes is living as right a life as he can possibly live because that man goes up on the bench and he has no idea who's going to score for him on any particular night. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I don't know. It looks like Vescovic, he's hitting pretty good tonight. Josiah James, he just doesn't know.
Right.
I mean, as a coach, that would absolutely drive me crazy. Back in our day, Coach Mears pretty well knew, game in and day out, and you knew and I knew what we needed to get in order for us to win.
Exactly.
But I don't get that feeling with anybody but Connect right now, knowing what they got to get to win ball games.
Well, I just think that true. I agree with you on that. I just think that they kind of sitting back a little bit and they let Connect do it. But if you know that, this is what I told them. Last time I was over there, I said, guys, y'all been in a fight before? And they said, yeah. I said, well, if you're going to be in a fight, you want to take the first punch. Don't let the other team take the first punch. And they did that in Kentucky, but they didn't do it out in Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. So I told them, y'all got a target on your back.
Yep.
You got to go out there for the first 5 minutes and throw that punch.
Yep. And the other thing that bothers me a little bit is if they play a team that's very disciplined, that milks that clock like a South Carolina did and makes them work extremely hard on defense because, Tony, and I know, if you work extremely hard on defense, the first thing that goes is your legs, and when your legs go, your shot goes. Yeah. And that worries me a little bit, too, if they get into the tournament and say they face a Virginia. Virginia is one of those teams, that they're going to milk the clock and they're going to play. And Texas A&M did the same thing last weekend. They milked that clock right down to the end, and
they just
we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
I see that with
shorten the game.
Texas A&M, they shortened the game, but they also played physical.
Yeah.
They pushed us around, and that's what I was telling the guys. Hey, you got to match their intensity plus. If you don't match their intensity, let them know they're in the game.
Yeah,
we can't be pushed around.
They just out-muscled ADU right to the bench is what they did with him. They had to put Meshack in there because ADU just wasn't physical enough to play with Texas A&M. They didn't match up very good.
Well, you got to show up.
Match up.
You got to show up to play.
Yeah. Hey, time for a break, and when we return, the bold prediction segment will be up. You're listening to the GOTee Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland, excellence in service. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at StevensonTire.net. Your newspaper? That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the Daily Times. The Blue Tick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza, made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Blue Tick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Blue Tick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
Welcome back to the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for this week's Bold Predictions segment. And I'm going to stay right here with Tony White to talk some Tennessee basketball. Tony, Tennessee is kind of wallowing around the bottom of the league in games here. They played Arkansas last week down at Arkansas, not belittling the Razorbacks in any way, but they're not the Razorbacks of old down there, and they took care of business on the road. They played well. They got Vandy here at home. Vandy's struggling. And then on, I believe, next Tuesday, they go to Missouri to play out there. Missouri's not playing very well either. I know you got to show up for all of them, but does it really kind of boil down to the last couple of weeks? They've got South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, and Texas A&M coming up after Missouri. If you want the SEC ring, that's where it's at, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they got to do a sweep. They got to sweep those. They got to sweep all those games, I think. You know, that's where it's at. You know, we can't have any letdowns right now because, you know, we need this for the momentum to go into the finish strong, then you got a momentum to go into the tournament. Then from the tournament, you got a momentum that you got to go for the
And
NCAA.
those mentioned games are all RPI-type games as far as seeding in the NCAA tournament because South Carolina's ranked, Auburn's ranked, and Kentucky's ranked, and Alabama's ranked.
Right.
And Texas A&M's pretty darn good.
Right.
On any given because of their physicality.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I mean, can't have any letdowns right now.
Yeah. So you got to worry about that game because that's not a really good matchup for you. The A&M game, not really a good matchup. But the way I see it, that's where it's at right there.
Yeah, exactly. But we got A&M here in Thompson-Boling.
That's correct. We got Kentucky here and we got Auburn here.
So that dictates.
Yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
Oh yeah, especially when you're playing at home at this time of the year.
Yeah. Kentucky has been a mystery.
Yeah.
3 games in a row at Rupp Arena. They lost.
That's history, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they just not playing any.
Well, we would have liked to play there. We're scoring a lot of points. We're getting a lot of shots, and they don't have to play any defense. That's my kind of game, isn't it? Huh?
Man, that's our type of game. Wait a minute. I can't give you all. Wait a minute. That's our type of game.
They seem to like it up there.
Yeah.
They seem to like it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I would love it up there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they got, as I mentioned, I'm a little bit worried about teams that slow the game down.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, that's kind of the way Coach Barnes played in the past. You know, last year he milked that clock right down, played hard defense.
Yeah.
And that's what got them where they went.
It just
and so that South Carolina really and Texas A&M really beat him at his game.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I mean, we got to have. I see the game, and we just got to have more people involved. I'm not worried about the defense. I'm worried about can we score when teams push up on Connect.
Yeah.
Who's going to be our next person that's going to
and will he be, so to speak, smart enough not to know the force? A great shooter at times will, feel like that he's got to get his 22 or whatever, and may tend to force some shots maybe you shouldn't have taken. But he has been pretty unselfish as far as I'm concerned.
Well, true.
Most of the year. Tennessee has been real fortunate with injuries. In the past years, they've, Ziegler got hurt last year.
Right.
That was a big deal, and they've had some other injuries. And I think that's been one of the things that's kept them from advancing in the tournament has been injury.
Well,
but
true.
This year, knock on wood, pretty fortunate. Fortunate.
I'm knocking on the wood. I'm knocking on it.
Hasn't come about.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. Absolutely.
I've written some things down here. SEC championships, and this comes up every year.
Okay.
Which is harder for you? Which do you see as the most valuable? An SEC championship, a tournament championship, or a deep run in the tournament? It always comes up.
Oh, wow.
Which, as a player, would you have preferred?
Now, when you say deep in the tournament, are you saying deep in the tournament doesn't go
Well,
to
deep
the
to
championship?
Tennessee is like Elite Eight, and it's been one time.
Well, Final Four.
That's
Say
one
Final
time.
Four. Okay, Final Four, yeah.
Final
But,
Four.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
what's that?
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been
I
a
know.
while.
I know, but I mean, any SEC championship, the tournament championship, both of them are important. But I would prefer because the history that we haven't been to the Final Four, that right there would be significant.
I think the SEC regular season championship, in my opinion, would be the most cherished because it's over the long haul.
True.
The whole season, it's a tough deal. You got to go on the road. In my day, you had to play a home and away. You had to play everybody twice. A little bit different today. Still a grind. Still got to win on the road to win it. I think that's a cherished championship at SEC, and they haven't won many of those over here. I don't know, 11?
Well, nobody has
11,
but
12?
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but we're second to Kentucky.
I know.
in SEC
That's my
championship.
point. Is
That's what I'm saying.
You got 11,
Well,
and you're still number 2 all time.
That's
with 11.
exactly my point. How cherished and valuable it is because there's not many SEC champion. The tournament would be probably next, but that's a weekend. That's a 1 week deal.
Right.
And then the NCAA tournament, based on the fact that you only give out one championship, the national championship.
Right.
The deep run, I don't know. But a lot of people think, well, it's all about the tournament. It's a deep run. Of course, none of those people have won any championships, so to them it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
But to a player, I would rather have the ring on my finger before I went to the NCAA championship. Competed in the NCAA tournament. I would rather have the bird in the hand, so to speak. You see?
I see what you're saying, but I was looking at it as history, as in we never have been to the Final Four.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to be the toast of the city if you go there.
Well, see,
forever.
That's what I was looking at because, we don't won the SEC championships. We don't won tournament championships, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the one that I think that,
And then looking back, I'm real bitter as far as my day because, you had to win the SEC outright to go to the NCAA tournament. The first year I played here as a sophomore, they took 24 teams to the NCAA tournament. 24 teams. You had to win your league, and then they expanded that to 32. They thought they was giving everybody a favor. It was tough, to get in there. Don't talk about deep runs. The run was just getting there.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, you don't have, you put up, I don't know, 17, 18 wins, and your RPI is pretty good, and you played a lot of good teams. You're in there, you see. But my day,
hey, Gunner, Gunner, timing is everything. Ain't it?
It really is. It really is. And man, when you played back in the Rock Ages, you got the shaft, buddy. I'm telling you. Well, when you played the Flintstones and those teams, we beat Bedrock, Dadgummit, Bedrock beat us by senior year, and we didn't get to go to the NCAA tournament.
What did they actually give you a ring?
For winning the
SEC
championship ring,
They actually got. So you got. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least they gave you that.
Yeah, I mean, he got that.
And
I don't have it. I didn't have it.
And listen, I'm proud of that because there's a lot of guys that come through here that didn't have those. They don't have those rings, and I don't see that on one of their criteria.
I don't have a ring.
That would eliminate a lot of guys from that banner if you don't have a ring. See, so that's what I'm saying. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
I understand. I'm with you on that, Gunner.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
So how far is this team going to go? You see an SEC championship, tournament championship, Sweet 16 elite. You see it all on the table, or?
Well, I mean, hey,
I don't know.
You gotta go for the gusto.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah. Hey, win them all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're there. You participate in the play, and I think that the team have the ability to do some special things.
Yeah. Do you think this is his best shot, Barnes' best shot since he's been here?
Well, as of right now, yes.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. I think we got continuity, we got veterans, we got we just got a complete team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, it's been a real pleasure having you here this morning. A real pleasure. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed talking to you. I wish you all the luck in the world in the banner. If there's anything that I can do for you, I'll be glad to do it. But if they hang one over there, buddy, I haven't been over there since the day that they had the All Century team that we were together that day, both of us.
Okay.
They hang that banner over there, it's going to be like Rudy.
Okay.
I'm going to be there.
Okay.
Tony, if they hang the banner, I will be there.
All right, Gunner, I appreciate that.
How's that?
All right, hey.
And Dwayne, thank you for coming.
Thank you for letting us do this today. And also, you were my favorite player when I was growing. I went to your basketball camp when I was young. I'm not.
And tell the fans how much that basketball camp cost you and your family.
Well, I don't know.
It was free.
It was free.
Well, that wasn't Maryville College. I'm talking about UT.
Oh.
I went over there when I was about 10 or 11 years old and went to that camp.
Now, that cost you now.
And he was
that was Stu Aberdeen's camp. That didn't cost you.
Well, he's the guy I looked up to when I was growing up. So
the gunner.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Hey, that's the final whistle, and that'll do it for today's edition of the Goatee Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host of the Blue Tick Tavern, and all our sponsors. For Donnie Moore, Marcus Fitzsimmons, Troy Provo Heron, until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports. All right, guys.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the Goatee Sports Page. The best in local sports.